Trust by now you realize what it does.
Okay, so here I'm going to go over my my biological electrification unit and my Doug coil machine hooked up to my Bob Beck brain tuner and the Doug coil machine for the head, as well as the speaker unit that is for the head. This is just there's a 6-inch speaker back here that's laid flat underneath this pillow, and then these along the sides are also for the ears. So this entire radius in this area right here can vibrate at whatever frequency we tune to the brain tuner. The brain tuner is hooked up to the earlobes, one on each side. We can use any frequency we would like. We use square wave because that is the most beneficial. On the top of the cranium we have our Doug coil machine. So this pulses an electromagnetic pulse in this region of the brain, causing neurological excitation of electrons through magnetism. It's called transcranial magnetic stimulation, TCMS. Okay, and here we have another speaker which also pulses at the same frequency as the head and the groin frequency. These are chakra points, so these are points that we like to focus on when we are using frequency adjustment. Okay, here on the wrists you will see the biological electrification devices. We have one on each wrist. This one goes to this wrist. There's another one on the opposing wrists. Those wrists pulse a current of about 32 volts of biphase alternating square wave 4 hertz, 32 cycles per second. And that is the biological electrification. We also have the biological electrification on the ankles over here. We like to put them on the back, on your Achilles tendon, or any place that the main arteries or veins are present, so that we get less stinging and more blood and biological electrification. The more contact you have through the electrodes, the less burning or stinging you will feel while using the machine. So it's very necessary to put proper placement when you are placing the biological electrification device. Over here we have our container of what is distilled water. You can actually add an electrolyte to your distilled water using salt or
Epsom salt?
Salt or sodium bicarbonate or Epsom salt, just to help the pads connect better to the electrodes connect better to the pads. As you'll see in the back here, this first voltage meter measures first voltage meter measures the amount of current that is flowing between the two electrodes on the earlobes. That's the amount of current that comes from our frequency generator, which is this little guy right in the middle. That is a frequency generator. It can generate any frequency I want at any waveform I want. But right now I basically just use my computer and I put my frequencies onto my phone because that works just as well. And then so from the phone we have it coming into our stereo inputs and then our other stereo inputs, and those operate the capacitors which pulse the coils for our Doug coil machine. When we're running our Doug coil machines, I do not like to put more than 1 amp of current for no more than 5 minutes into my amplifiers, because my amplifiers get very hot running at those frequencies. So I like to keep it at a low minimum. It's a very handy tool to have. That's an amp meter. It measures alternating amperages up to 400 volts, and it's very beneficial. The current that I use for the Beck brain tuner, which is the earlobe device, and the frequency device, it's all hooked up to the same frequency. So whatever frequency pulses at the brain tuner between the earlobes also pulses on the seat, the abdomen, and the groin. Those all pulse at the same frequency. I could have multiple frequencies for multiple chakras, balancing of different chakras. But for right now, for healing, we use one frequency the entire thing. And I believe that's pretty much everything right now. I mean, there's, I think, yeah, and then, so that's my biological electrification, Doug coil, and every other machine combined. I haven't given a name for it yet, but I'm sure. There it is.